Hello and welcome to this yoga video for sciatic pain. I'm Adriana. I'm a trauma-informed yoga instructor and physiotherapist if you are new to the channel. And today's practice is all for anyone who is experiencing back pain and pain that maybe radiates down the leg that is often known as sciatic pain. This practice is for you, so follow along in any of the parts that feel good for you. I invite you to start with me on your hands and knees if that feels comfortable for you today. You can place a towel or a pillow under your wrists or under your knees if that feels more comfortable for you. Now I'll move through some gentle cat-cows to start, just to get some movement through the spine. Now you can move as big or as small as you would like in this. On an exhale, you can round the spine as much as you like. So you're thinking about bringing your tailbone under, rounding through the spine. Now, if this feels uncomfortable, if it causes you pain, just go as far as you would like. And then on an inhale, you're going to do the opposite movement. So you're going to bring your stomach to the ground. You're going to bring your tailbone up. And your head can do whatever you'd like. You can bring it forward. You can bring it all the way up, whatever feels good. And you can just move back and forth throughout these movements, rounding as much as you would like, and then straightening as much as you would like, or lowering the stomach as much as you would like. There might be one movement that feels much better for you. That's pretty common if you're having some back pain. So just move in the way that feels good. If you notice that any of the movements today cause an increase in that leg pain, if they cause a lot of numbness or tingling down the leg, that could just mean that we're making that nerve a little bit angry. Nerves are a little bit sensitive. They're a little more sensitive than our muscles and our joints. So if that's the case, you can ease out, take a break, do something that feels good. Okay, if you've had enough of the cat-cows, I invite you to come onto your stomach here and we'll move through a few cobras. So cupping on the stomach, bringing the arms as high as you need to. So the forearms can rest near your head. They can rest a little bit more forward. Your hands can be a little bit more forward. The more forward your arms are, the less extension or back bending you're going to get. So if your arms are way more forward, your back is going to be down more. If your arms are a lot closer to your chest, your back is going to come up more. So choose where you would like the arms. And there are some options here. One, you can just sit like this for a couple breaths. Sit, having this back a little bit arched, and take a couple nice breaths here. Try and relax all the muscles. Try and let the day go. Try and de-stress. Another option would be to slowly come down onto your head here, kind of booping your forehead on the mat. And then using those arms to gently lift your chest up. So you're moving in and out of that extension. Whichever one you prefer, we'll be here for a tiny bit of time, not too long. So you can decide. And if none of them feel good for your back, if this just feels awful, you can just roll over and lie on your back and I'll meet you there in a second. One more nice breath here. Let everything go. And then you can come onto your back. I should have mentioned at the start of this video that if you have a chair or you have bolsters or blocks, that can be handy for the last shape we'll take. So I'm letting you know now. On your back here, I invite you to bend your knees so that your feet are on your mat. Your back is nice and relaxed into the mat. And then there's two options here, depending on what feels good for you. So one is a pelvic tilt, which basically means you're just going to squeeze your bum. You're going to bring your belly button up towards your chest, getting a bit of a tilt through your pelvis. And then letting go. And then squeezing your bum, belly button up towards chest, and then letting go. So that's one option. Another option would be to actually lift your bum up in the air as high as feels comfortable, keeping that tilt again as we just did, coming back down. So choosing the version that works best for your body. Once again, if you're noticing an increase in that leg tingling or leg pain, take a little break. Let that nerve relax. Great. Moving into a couple more stretches here. This one being the figure 4. So you can take your left foot and bring it on your right thigh. Now, if that feels too high, you can straighten the right leg a little bit more so that that left foot doesn't have to go up as high. Or you can bring the foot closer to your body, then the left foot will go up a little bit higher. So this is one option for this, is gently pushing down through that left thigh, bringing the leg down towards the ground. If you feel like this doesn't stretch at all, it doesn't really feel like anything, you're just relaxing here on the ground, another option would be to actually lift that right leg and take your hands and wrap them around the right thigh to get more of a stretch through that left hip. So any version that works for you, the hip muscles can feel very tight and uncomfortable for anyone who has back pain or who has sciatic pain. So just keep that in mind as you're doing this. Sometimes it feels really nice to stretch them out, but you also want to pay attention to that tingling or that pain through the leg. And once again, if you're just getting a big increase in that, take a break. One more breath here, wherever you are. And then as you exhale, I invite you to take that left knee and bring it over, imagining you're bringing the left knee to the opposite shoulder. It's not actually going to go there, but you're going to bring it in the opposite direction. This is going to work on a different muscle throughout that left glute and hip. Sometimes people find that this muscle feels tight. Sometimes people find the other way feels tight. So you might have to play around and see which one you like best. Once again, if you don't feel like you're stretching anything at all, you could lift the lower leg. You might not get too much more of a stretch on this one with that. One more breath. Then you can let go of that left leg, bring it down, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So this time the right foot is going to come up on the left thigh, lowering the right knee down to the ground. You can play around with where that left foot is, if it's closer to the body or further away, depending on how that right hip feels. Once again, you can keep the leg here, or you might want to lift it up or even wrap your arms around the left leg. So find the version that works for you. One side might feel way different than the other side. This side feels much tighter for me. Spending a few breaths here. Pain can have a lot to do with the sensitivity of our nervous system and our body being in fight or flight. So you can use this as a bit of time to try and de-stress. Sometimes that can be helpful for pain. On your next exhale, lowering that left leg and now bringing that right knee over to the opposite shoulder. You're not actually going to reach the shoulder, but you're bringing the knee in the opposite direction. Couple breaths here, and knowing you can come out at any time. If it doesn't feel good, if your back is pissed off, that's fine. Switch it up. On an exhale, letting go of this, keeping your right leg bent, I want you to take the left leg. You're going to keep the knee bent to start. You're going to take your hands and once again, wrap them around the left thigh. Or if you would prefer, you can get a little strap and place it around the left foot. And from here, you're going to straighten and bend the left leg, getting a bit of a stretch or a pull throughout that muscle on the back of the left leg, your hamstring. With this one, I don't want you to hold the stretch. You're just going to glide back and forth, only going as high as feels comfortable for you. If you notice the more you're doing this, the more pain you're getting, the more numbness and tingling you're getting, take a break. As I mentioned, these nerves can be sensitive. One more on this side. Lowering the left leg and then repeating the same thing on the right side, bending and straightening. Just like with the hip stretches, you might notice one of these feels more tight than the other, especially if you only have that sciatic pain on one side. One more here. And then lower it down. And then for our final resting shape, it might be nice if you have a chair to place the seated end of the chair on your mat. If you don't have a chair, you can take blocks, you can take a bolster and kind of just make a makeshift little stool or step here. And basically what we want is we just want your legs to be elevated a little bit and your back to be down. So if you have a chair, your legs will probably be a lot more elevated. They'll be up to here. Whereas on here, the legs are not elevated as much, but that's okay. The reason for this is it can keep the back nice and neutral, and that can feel nice for people. I invite you to take a couple deep breaths, sink into the surface beneath you. Relax the jaw, relax the forehead. Bring the ears away from the shoulders. Unclench the abs and the glutes. Let everything go. One nice inhale through the nose. Sigh it out. You can stay and rest as long as you would like. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful for any pain you're experiencing. I'll see you next time.